Greetings, LEGO fans, and welcome to Retro LEGO, where we revisit and rank the sets and beloved LEGO themes from the past. Today we're...
There he is! The slimy slug! Go let him get away!
Uh-oh, gotta run.
Hey folks, welcome back. I'm your host, Kelton Davis. And today, we're traveling to the deep underground of the planet U with 1999's Rock Raiders. I apologize for any confusion at the start there, as there's a certain mischievous slug that seems very keen on offering his 2 cents on the subject. But don't worry, we've got the situation entirely under control.
Released in 1999, Rock Raiders is a LEGO theme with a unique story. In an effort to help propel the company into the digital age, Rock Raiders was the first LEGO series to be developed in tandem with a video game. Rock Raiders was also originally intended to be the first entry into a brand new underground series, similar to Aquazone in scope. Unfortunately, the shifting priorities and financial turmoil facing the company at the turn of the millennium scuttled these plans, and Rock Raiders was left behind as an orphaned theme without a family to belong to. Still, Rock Raiders stands strong, and actually finds kinship within LEGO Space, adoptive parents if you will. The Rock Raiders are a team of space miners who ended up stranded in another galaxy after traveling through a wormhole. Their only way home is to mine a local planet for energy crystals to power their ship, the LMS Explorer. The sets contained within the series show us how they did that.
Apologies again, folks. Until we can pinpoint the source of these interruptions, I think we're just gonna have to deal with them. Anyway, where was I? Ah yes, these 8 sets combine a perilous survival premise, a truly unique complementary color scheme, and an unforgettable collection of character and vehicle designs that have stood the test of time. I personally owned and loved a good number of these sets as a kid, and even used some of the original parts from our childhood LEGO bin to rebuild some of them. So sharpen your drills, and let's dig deep into the world of Rock Raiders. Taking the bottom spot is set number 4910, the Hover Scout. Though I've put it in last place, this $3 entry-level set is no slouch. Unlike the typical small speeder sets we've seen peppered throughout LEGO Space, this gives us something much more noteworthy and complete, as we're treated to both a vehicle and a workstation. The titular hovercraft uses a dark gray domed crossplate as its base. And though this piece technically debuted with the Star Wars sets of the same year, I always think of Rock Raiders when I see these. In addition, the dark turquoise control panel is set exclusive. Though it's built out of just a handful of pieces, it's a great case study in how to balance the Rock Raiders color palette, as it features all of its main colors and highlights in pretty much perfect proportions. However, the workstation is perhaps my favorite part of the set, introducing us to the theme-exclusive Rock Raiders computer console and providing us with a good swath of tools and equipment, including the debut of the Space Binoculars, a personal favorite of mine that also saw healthy use in the early Star Wars sets. On top of the workstation is a small platform for analyzing a specimen of Briconium, the power source the crew hopes to use to jumpstart their ship. This crystal element has a long and storied history with LEGO, but surprisingly, Rock Raiders was its debut in trans neon green, which is easily my favorite color it's ever come in, especially when put under blue light. The one minifigure included is the pilot and lone female member of the Rock Raiders crew, Jet. Sporting a well-worn blue flight suit and a faceprint that looks equal parts feminine and rough around the edges, she's an excellent addition to this ragtag team of blue-collar space explorers. Her helmet, borrowed from Explorians, was a mainstay of our LEGO collection growing up due to the prevalence of both of these themes in our childhood play. The Hover Scout is a perfect example of how to do a small set right. And among the many tiny speeders of LEGO Space, this might just be the best one out there.
I'm a big fan of the Hover Scout, and I agree with Kelton on its strengths. It's a phenomenal entry point into the series, but it's also a little too small to be much more significant than that.
Coming in at number 7 is set number 4980, the Tunnel Transport. Hitting shelves at $50 in 1999, this set is a fascinating mixture of a great premise and lackluster execution. This subterranean helicopter is gold on paper, but the final result was, in my opinion, kinda ugly. That said, it's actually one of the most playable of the large vehicles, including a magnetized rover with its own tipper bed, a spacious cargo hold, 4 spinning propellers, and even a detachable speeder in the back, featuring a printed version of the domed crossplate. No one in our family ever owned this one, but given the pretty steep aftermarket price, I took this as an opportunity to part it out, using a lot of the Rock Raiders pieces that were still sitting in the Lego bin at my parents' house. To my delight, I was able to cobble together quite a bit of this set from those pieces, with a couple of small Bricklink orders finishing it off. However, that little sprinkle of novelty wasn't enough to fully stave off how disappointing this set was in person after only seeing it in catalogs. It's haphazardly thrown together, pretty awkward to handle, and feels like it should have included a rock monster or more minifigs to justify its price. As it stands, the set includes 2. The aforementioned Jet and the crew's geologist and explosives expert, Dox. This smirking pyro is canonically one of the wisest and most experienced of the group, and it looks like he went on to have a successful career in film once he got back to Earth. With the tools of his trade strapped to his torso and his goggles at the ready on his forehead, he's ready to blast his way home. He's given plenty of firepower in the bed of the vehicle, along with 2 large boulders containing briconium crystals. These 2-part octagonal boulders debuted with Rock Raiders and went on to have quite the career, with the molds still in use to this day. The Tunnel Transport has its strengths, but when compared to the other vehicles in its weight class, it doesn't even come close.
I find the Tunnel Transport to be a bit hard to love at times. While building it, it really does just feel like a big pile of bricks. I adore the unique concept behind it, but I think it was maybe one more design iteration away from being truly ready for the limelight.
Taking the number 6 spot is set number 4920, the Rapid Rider. Originally retailing for $4, this slick, futuristic watercraft is designed to take advantage of swift underground rivers, and is cleverly built up on this helicopter's sled rail element, a part I was surprised to see debuted in the same year. This set is a masterclass in small, creative vehicle design, and it doesn't skimp on the accessories either, giving us a solid balance of tools and printed elements that really satisfy, even for the current used market value. The one minifigure included here is the crew's expert navigator, Bandit. This grumpy-looking, hard-hat-donning helmsman is one of my favorite character designs among the crew, wearing a simple sweater outfitted with a robust utility vest. He sells the blue-collar vibe of this series the best of the bunch, looking the most like a modern-day miner might look here on Earth. If you're looking to get your own small slice of Rock Raiders, this might just be the set to get, as its excellent design and accessibility make it a solid bang for your buck.
The Rapid Rider is certainly an outlier in the theme, given that it's the only aquatic vehicle in the Rock Raiders arsenal. While this has probably helped contribute to its lower than average price and desirability on the aftermarket, don't let it trick you into believing that this great little set has nothing to offer.
Breaking into the top 5 is set number 4930, the Rock Raiders Crew. In today's climate, where minifigures are sold at a premium, it's hard to imagine that this set, the only one to contain the entire Rock Raiders cast of characters, except for one, we'll get to that, hit shelves at only $6. Though the Rock Raiders sets are pretty strong across the board, they definitely made some weird choices in what minifigs to include in each set, so the fact that they're all brought together here is no insignificant event. In addition, you're given a pretty strong lineup of accessories, including a briconium-laden boulder, a sprue full of tools on a rack, a computer console, and a pretty rad double buzzsaw contraption. Of the entire crew of 5, there are only 2 we haven't met yet, the first being Axel. This rugged, heavy equipment operator is the most commonly seen in the line, appearing in 4 sets, and his faceprint really fits his penchant for getting behind the controls of big, powerful machines. Finally, we have Sparks, the mechanic of the crew. I've never been sure why, but Sparks has always been my favorite of the gang. Perhaps it was the boldness of his orange jumpsuit or the effortless swagger of his faceprint, but I was always drawn to him as a kid. He also looks like he went on to a career in film, in this case as a stuntman, further multiplying his cool factor. This set might not be worth getting if you have most of the other sets, but it's otherwise a great way to collect these unforgettable characters.
It can be easily forgotten today, but Rock Raiders was pretty special at the time for having a consistent named cast of characters that serve as the protagonists of our story. Putting them all together in one set is a real boon, even if Chief didn't quite make the cut.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the members of the Brick Guild for supporting this channel. If you'd like to get early access to new videos, member-only polls, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, click the join button or the link in the description for more information. At number 4, we have set number 4990, the Rock Raiders HQ. The biggest and most expensive of the sets, debuting at $80 US, this is where the precious Briconium is extracted and processed. Constructed on a huge raised base plate, the same mold as the Amazon Ancient Ruins from the same year, this set shares that same modular nature. In the standard configuration, the front 2 modules feature a small docking space for the tiny included speeder, similar to the Hover Scout, and a rock blasting station. In the back, this tall, rotating crane can move rocks wherever they need to go, elegantly raised and lowered using these Technic crankshafts, while the Technic rack can extend and retract as the job requires. On the other side, this huge light-up laser can take on the most stubborn boulders, even if its center of gravity is a little wonky. In the center is a simple yet satisfying conveyor belt that drops the spent rocks into the pit below. In addition to all of this, a small rover is included for trucking materials around the base. This bustling center of activity includes 4 minifigures, the whole team except for Axel, who's probably off driving some huge rig somewhere. In addition to the figs, we're given one of the most memorable and incredibly fun elements of Rock Raiders, the Rock Monster. Adding a touch of light horror to the theme, this fierce creature of the deep is largely static, save for one articulating arm, whose hand is perfectly sized to hold a minifigure. Not a coincidence if you ask me. Though this set is packed with cool play features, great characters, and unique elements, it's not the heart of what makes Rock Raiders great, as that distinction belongs to the vehicles. But if you can afford its steep aftermarket price tag, it's a worthy centerpiece to any Rock Raiders diorama.
I think one of the best aspects of the Rock Raiders HQ is getting to feel that toy-to-life experience with the various structures here. If you're a big fan of the PC game like I am, you'll feel right at home at Rock Raiders HQ, even if you have to pay through the nose to get here.
Coming in at number 3 is set number 4940, the Granite Grinder. I've got to say, from this point onward, these top 3 vehicles are absolute all-timers, and could easily be interchanged with no real objection from me. Hitting shelves at $15, this brilliant set builds upon the foundation of the great spacewalkers before it to create what I think is the final and best version of the form factor. Turning in the finicky 2x2 turntables for Technic lift arms and pins, the walk cycle on this slick drilling machine is unmatched. The enormous chrome drill on the front is quintessential Rock Raiders, only appearing in 2 sets, and it's my easy favorite among the elements introduced in this theme. I even remember using it to dig in the real dirt of my backyard, always leaving it looking well-loved to say the least. When I bought the set used, I was delighted to see that the included drill was similarly dirty, suggesting that it lived a life similar to my own childhood copy. The Granite Grinder's minimalist cockpit is perfect for the thrill-seeking gearhead Axel, who is the only minifig included in this set. With a perfectly balanced color scheme, imaginative design, and an endlessly repeatable play feature, the Granite Grinder reigns supreme among all the LEGO Space Walkers, which is no easy feat.
This is the only mainline Rock Raider set not to include either an energy crystal or boulder. But that's the only negative thing I have to say against it. Otherwise, I think it's a perfect set, and the best visual example of the uniquely quirky Rock Raiders color palette.
Just barely pulling ahead of the Granite Grinder for me is set number 4950, the Loader Dozer. Another absolute knockout in the design department, this set also saw plenty of digging in my backyard, as its principal play feature, no doubt inspired by the Aqua Dozer from 2 years prior, is practically begging you to get dirty. A simple mechanism in the back attaches to the scoop in the front via chain and makes raising and lowering it a breeze. If you want to lock it in the upright position for transport, it's as easy as lowering these 2 hinge locks on the side. Axel, once again the lone crew member included here, is in more peril than he might realize because the terrifying rock monster is on his tail. The addition of just this one story element really elevates the set for me, raising the stakes and including one of Rock Raider's coolest creatures to boot. The Loader Dozer is childhood play at its finest, and its simple perfection is only outdone by one remaining vehicle on this list.
The Loader Dozer certainly sports the best play feature in all of Rock Raiders. From a play experience, this one takes the cake. Personally, I wish the details were a little more fleshed out, but hey, we get a rock monster too. Hard to be unhappy with that.
Before we reveal the number 1 pick, I'd like to give an honorable mention to the promotional sets in this series. Like many themes of the time, the main releases were supplemented by a handful of polybag sets packaged with Kabaya sweets in Japan, along with some exclusive minifigure packs that were released in the UK, including the hugely coveted Chief minifig.
I straight up adore the Kabaya sets. As a huge fan of alternate builds, the Kabaya series sport the most intricate and ingenious of all of Rock Raiders. The Mini Heroes collection is another story. For their original retail prices, they're excellent, but we're simply not in Kansas anymore when it comes to pricing. I'd avoid these like the plague at the prices they go for now.
And at number 1 is set number 4970, the Chrome Crusher. I'll just say it, this is Rock Raiders at its finest. I'll admit that nostalgia definitely plays a role in my love for this set, as it was the first Rock Raiders vehicle I played with as a kid, but boy does it still hold up as an adult. Perfectly fusing sci-fi and mining to glorious effect, this behemoth has it all. The chrome drill makes a comeback and can be interchanged with the large dish on the front, which I always interpreted as some sort of sonic blaster used to obliterate rock faces. If that doesn't quite do the trick, the huge light-up laser on the top will finish the job. Though working lights on LEGO sets was by no means new at this point, this thing blew my mind as a kid, and the 3 swappable laser heads can be tailored to any job the Chrome Crusher needs to get done. With a dual-station cockpit, loads of tools, a powerful engine, and a generous tipper bed for cargo, this rig seems capable of just about anything, and looks just as great doing it. My only minor nitpick is that it only includes Axel once again. Maybe his personal hygiene wasn't so great, because it seems that nobody else in the crew wants to be near him, even in a cockpit designed for 2. At the end of the day, though, this is the set that comes to mind when I think of Rock Raiders, and would easily be the single set I would keep if I could only have one.
The Chrome Crusher is the heart of Rock Raiders. I can imagine the series releasing without any one of the other sets, but not this one. For you Power Miners fans out there, this is the Thunder Driller equivalent. Utterly indispensable.
But as always, how would you rank this subterranean adventure? Let me know in the comments below. And in case you literally live under a rock and haven't subscribed to RR Slugger, do yourself a favor and change that now. He was a huge inspiration in rekindling my love for vintage Lego, and I can't thank him enough for crashing this video. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a slug to catch.
Thanks for having me on, Kelton. It might go without saying, but Rock Raiders is my favorite Lego theme. There's no better place to find some high adventure deep underground.